Welcome back to the extra time of the Dota 2 Asian Championship group stage. All the matches are over. We played the 120 matches, but there's more. Channeling my inner Billy Mays here.
I think you need a little more energy.
Hi, Billy Mays here. It's like it's very very emphatic. I wish
Hi, Billy Mays. I'm
Hi, Billy
You
Mays
need
here.
cocaine for this.
Yeah,
Just
a little bit.
But I don't want to die at like how old was he? Like 45 or something.
Two.
I don't know.
42. Yeah,
Too
too
soon,
young.
whatever
Too
it
young.
was.
Anyways, we're gonna have 3 extra games. It's a 3 tiebreakers game. TongFu, syndereN, and Rave are playing to see who is going to be the last seed to actually go into the lower bracket. The game has just started. We're into the draft phase. It's going to be TongFu versus Rave first. Guys, any prediction?
Well, I feel like we should predict overall out of
Okay.
the 3.
So it was TongFu, Rave, and the third?
syndereN.
syndereN.
I think syndereN.
I
think
say
syndereN's a
TongFu.
bit
TongFu.
stronger.
TongFu had a really good day today.
Do you want to say Rave just so each team gets a little representation?
I feel like Rave has lost almost every
They
game
have.
since the first
I have the
game.
least hopes for Rave. That's
Yeah,
why
I
I would.
agree.
Okay.
I think TongFu make it.
Okay.
TongFu.
I'm trusting coach. Come on, Mikasa.
Oh, you said syndereN. Oh yeah, that's coach. Yeah.
Rave
Sorry.
was 3-1 on day 1.
Come on, Sind. What are you doing?
Rave was 3-1 on day 1. 1-2 on day 2. Where's Rave?
And they only had one more win.
1-2 on day 3. And they were 0-3 today.
Okay.
Day 4, sorry.
Not much hope for Rave, it sounds
yeah,
like.
Yeah, it's like they haven't won a game in the last 2 days.
Okay. So we have 3 TongFu, 1 syndereN.
Yeah.
All right.
Whoever's wrong gets
Let
to
the
wear
chips
the
fall
mask
where they
again.
You get to wear the mask, yeah.
No. We're done with the. We're done with the mess.
So we're going to go into
I'm
the
done
draft.
with the
That
mess.
was fun, though.
Yes.
We
Like
enjoyed it. Reddit enjoyed it too. Chat enjoyed it too.
Well, good. As long as Chad is happy.
As long
then
as
I'm
Chat is
happy.
that's what we work for. They own
You
us.
are the employers.
Yeah. TongFu versus Rave. Shadow Friend is there with his friend from hell, Lion. They're role playing this team. They're just like they come from hell, all of them. On the side of TongFu, we have the Spin Lord Juggernaut, which, in the hands of Eternal Envy, won them the match against LGD.
That wasn't even close, though.
Yeah, that was.
It was a stomp, you know. Clearly, one of the most one-sided matches we've
It was
ever seen.
pretty amazing that they still had the confidence that one hero would outpush 4, or was it all 5?
I would
alive
like
for
to see the
buy?
replay, and I would like to see what the other Cloud9 heroes were doing, because clearly they were distracting them enough. It was not
Yeah.
them attacking the throne all the time.
They killed the creeps and there was backdoor protection.
Oh, really?
Oh, there was.
There was also like the Wisp tether attack speed slow that was hitting everyone. There was a Shiva's.
Yeah.
It was a lot of ways to
Interesting.
delay the push.
Interesting. Nice itemization. TongFu, they also get the Witch Doctor. Very good pick as well. Good thing about Shadowfin, or against Shadowfin, is that he has to stay quiet while he's channeling his ultimate. He has to stay quiet normally when he's casting the raises, because they're not. This is not Hon. They're not instant cast.
Good one.
Yes.
What?
No, so we've been talking a lot about that lately. So it's just
Oh, great.
So
good for you,
it's-
syndereN.
They're like playing footsie over here.
Pansy, more like it.
Pansy.
So yeah, it's easier to land the Maledict. It's easier to make a little bit more impact with that Death Ward. And it's not like Bristleback last game that wasn't taking any damage at all from the Death Ward as well. So it's an interesting pick. We see the bans from Clock and Queen of Pain coming from Rave.
What
They
do you
don't
guys
want to.
What do you guys think of Bristleback without Wisp?
It's an okay, you know. It works in some circumstances.
I think he's really good when you have another core behind him that can really use the space.
Yeah,
he
he's not
makes.
supposed to be the one position, but an
Yeah.
off-laner.
Well, you can't even put him 1, but then if you put him 1, your mid laner needs to be someone who can really benefit from it happening. Unless if
Right.
you're playing with the IO, then I think, in theory, you can play Bristleback as your single physical damage core, because IO enables him so much.
Sin.
It's to use Winter's Ward, it's like good for the Bristleback to be the bodyguard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
so
have like a Shadow
Shadow
Fiend
Fiend.
or something behind,
Yes.
backing him up.
Hey, Sin.
Bristle Sniper.
Yes. Speaking
What-
of sniper, something TongFu do run occasionally.
Yeah.
This isn't the worst sniper game.
Decent against Shadow Fiend in lane. We've seen some teams try to counter the SF with that
Uh-huh.
quite a bit.
Sin. Why haven't we seen PA so much lately?
Radiant team pick.
Well, you know who's owning with PA actually? It's Hellraisers.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
Art says
picked it.
29-1 and 26 on PA in this tournament.
in 3 games.
I don't know how many. I hope it's at least 3, or that's just absurd.
Yeah.
But yeah, he is owning on that hero.
I think part of it is just that the really popular spin to win heroes, we've talked it to death, but Axe is really good against her. I want to say Troll, sure, she has the evasion, but he also has the blind, so they kind of even each other out in the fights. Juggernaut, even though there's the evasion, the Omni Slash still deals a lot of damage early on and can actually almost kill her from full health when he's level 6. It's very much in right now to pick Lion, who completely destroys her, like the absolutely best support until she has a BKB. It's a lot focused around fighting up until the 20-minute mark, and a hero like PA really needs BKB to come online. She can't really provide the same sort of fighting presence that a Shadow Fiend can without farm. She still has the 3 raises. PA, she has to commit herself into the fight. Shadow Fiend takes it from a distance, and she has her merits, but she's more situational than the very popular carries right now.
I think Rave is going to pick Bristol, actually. Chrissy's been playing that a lot lately.
Ooh.
Oh! Has this been picked yet?
Yes.
Yeah,
EG.
yeah. EG picks it.
How did that
PPD
go?
really likes the hero.
I
I
think
think that's
they won
very
with
well.
it.
Navi's been running a bad, and I would
Yeah,
say
Navi
it's like
too.
a
Oh yeah, that's true.
in terms of support popularity, maybe like a tier 2 or 3 support in this tournament. Not saying it's weaker, but just that's how
Less picked.
less popular.
Yeah.
But
The
still
Aphotic
see
Shield
something.
doesn't really take
Oh,
off
there's a
anything this
sniper.
game.
This will be U9's hero mid, I imagine. So, I mean, it makes sense to pick the Earthshaker here. It gives you a really strong defensive support to back him up. They don't have that great frontliner, though. So, I feel like for TongFu, that last pick needs to be something. I was going to say like a Clockwork. He is banned. I don't know if you go for like more of a physical damage deal, like a Bristleback. I feel like they need a little more team fight and control. Maybe even like a Beastmaster offlane or something.
and dying off lane.
Tidehunter's still available.
Oh, what Shannon says is the Abaddon doesn't really remove that much in this game. You can get rid of Fissure, you can get rid of Cast,
But
which
then
is
it
a
may
really
just
short
bounce
duration.
back to you as well.
Yeah.
Does it get rid of the slow from Shrapnel?
Like, keeps
Then
reapplying.
he reapplies, yeah.
Keep reapplying it in the area. So it's kind of underwhelming against TongFu, so I'm going
Well,
to assume
but
that
sorry,
Rave are picking it for
There's a
themselves.
linger time, though, for Shrapnel as well, right?
Yeah,
Like
I
a
don't
second
know.
or two
Yeah.
It reapplies every second.
I think if it's an aura,
Well,
it's
if
like
you're
every half
not if
second.
you're in it, though. Like when you're out of it, it's still.
Oh,
lingers.
yeah, then it
Yeah.
lingers for maybe a second.
I do like this Tidehunter ban by Rave, though. That is definitely what I feel TongFu are lacking. So, I mean, what else is there that's like a beefy frontliner? There's
Clock. No,
I said
Cent-
Undying.
Centaur, but can he get his early blink? Beastmaster would have been okay, I think, but he's banned.
They just
Or picked, rather, by Rave.
So what they get the Abaddon for?
Hmm.
There's no obvious lane setup. There's no obvious counter with him.
And you're up against a sniper. You'd love to be able to threaten ganks on him, but
Yeah.
with just a lion, it's a very low percentage.
I think the sniper's going to have a very easy laning stage. And whatever, if they do an aggressive dual lane, for example, with Abaddon, I think they get crushed by
Yeah.
a tri-lane of TongFu. They have... Shaker is arguably one of the absolute best heroes in lane against a dual lane Abaddon, because it doesn't matter that he can remove the stun, he can't remove the Fissure.
Yeah,
So the
still
whole
sitting
path
there
is still blocked
blocking
off,
him,
and
yeah.
you're just going to get killed over time. So I'm not a big fan of Abaddon in this game. I love the hero, and I think he's underpicked. And what I like to see when both EG and Navi pick it is that they find a way of utilizing it that makes a lot of sense for the overall strategy of the game, not necessarily the lane, but then at least in the mid or late game, there's a clear-cut strategy. You keep Aphotic shielding a key target in the front line so they can commit, and there's a very... It's, for the textbook example, EG's strategy is at TI4, where they used the Abaddon. They have, for example, a Dragon Knight front line in that tournament, which is not that good anymore. They had a Dragon Knight front line, or something along those lines. They had a whole lineup that was like built around this tankiness. For Rave, it's like spot the odd one out, and then you first of all see that all the other heroes are
Ooh,
red,
it's
and then you see
Darkseer.
Abaddon after that.
That was not expected.
I think he can get away with a lot, though. I like the Darkseer in this.
The Darkseer Juggernaut is a pretty cool combo as well.
It's a great vacuum setup, too, into Fissure, Echo Slam, Shrapnel even.
Maledict, potentially.
That's really hardcore. though.
I feel like with Darkseer, though, we often talk about the potential of the hero, but we rarely see it.
Well, we saw him 3 times this tournament.
0-3.
Yes.
That's such a small sample size, I don't feel like we should read
Who picked
too
it?
much into it.
Newbie 3 times?
So
Yeah.
mean. So mean, syndereN.
I think TongFu picked it once before, actually. I need to check.
What do you guys think? We're done the draft. Do we like the Darkseer pick?
Yes.
Yes.
I think TongFu's lineup is a lot better, honestly. I mean,
Think-
Shadow Fiend, Troll have been top tier picks, but the Abaddon still doesn't make any sense to me.
He feels pretty useless, I'm not gonna lie.
And we are lagging horribly. As syndereN will be taking over the camera, God be with us all.
Okay, hopefully this is temperate. Whoa, this mouse is flying all over the place.
Yeah.
Okay, we should be resolving this in just a
Okay,
moment.
so LGD picked it, lost versus Secret. Hellraisers picked it, lost versus Vici. And TongFu picked it once and lost with a lineup very similar to this. And lost to HGT. So the first two games, losing to Secret and Vici Gaming, no shame on that.
I feel like those two games, the team that had it was just the worst team.
Yeah.
You're trying very hard to make this enjoyable to watch, aren't you?
I'm at least not doing my frantic clicking that I do myself.
Like
that
zoom all the way out.
Everyone
Then you
would
sit,
hate
then you
it.
can't miss
Yeah.
there you go.
Welcome, guys, to
To Sim
tiebreaker
Dota
match.
2015.
Oh, great! We've got back.
Yes.
We're back to the ops. I
Good.
hope no
Thank
one,
God.
no one got, no one had to throw up. Over there.
LD, what'd you say? We let these two guys cast?
Yeah.
Yeah, get outta here,
Let's-
Bruno.
Let's go TongFu. I think it's a good draft, and I think we're all in agreement that the syndereN has a lot to prove. Good luck,
Yep.
guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. So let's go over the lineup, shall we?
Yes.
For TongFu, Kabu's going to be playing the Witch Doctor. Looks like LPC is going to be taking over on the Earthshaker. Already been blocking the creeps a bit. Jin Q on the Juggernaut with that cool little sword. U9 is going to be playing the Sniper mid. And last but not least, Quan on the Darkseer, which we've talked about at length before, a hero that you feel is quite underpicked.
Yeah,
And it's really good against melee.
For a game like this, it's a very nice pick, I think. So, kind of look forward to seeing him hopefully performing. We've got Ryo playing against him in the top lane as the Beastmaster. Should be a one lane for the Darkseer. Generally fares very well in melee versus melee matchups. Nature of Iron Shell, mid lane. Chrissy, Shadow Fiend against Sniper should also have a decent time. Not necessarily the easiest lane, especially not if U9 gets off to a good start, which it seems like he is 3-3 against 1 and 2. And then finally, tri-lane bottom for Rave, consisting of Abaddon by Cast, Troll by Jayo, and Lion by Ninja Boogie. This is
Ninja Boogie.
a really odd lane that doesn't have any obvious synergy.
Well, I mean, the shield doesn't have to take off, doesn't have to be used as a debuff, right? I mean, not debuff, what do they call
Dispel?
it, actually? A dispel, right? I mean, it still blocks damage, it does damage, he has his heal and miscoil, he's still an okay support. The problem is that he's melee, right? That's
Yeah.
at the end of the day, and there's no obvious way for him to, there's no obvious synergy, but
And
I
if
guess
you
we'll have
want to
wait.
use it in an aggressive way, you need to have someone who can set up the fight. And you've got a Lion who's level 1. That's not really that awesome.
Right. And this mid lane, you were talking about the matchup, how Shadow Fiend doesn't fare that. I think that Sniper just dumps on this hero 1v1. If there's no supports coming in to help out, the next level of Shrapnel, he can maybe get a kill. Sniper is so ridiculously good in 1v1 matchups now. In the bottom jungle, Jin Q, going to take a little harassment damage, take some nice XP and gold, and we'll find a bounty rune, in fact.
Oh, wow, that's a really good bonus. They get both the runes. There's a regen rune for the Earthshaker up top, who's going to try to cut off Ryo, and we could be seeing our first blood here, although the Hawk scouting out nicely. If he goes in now, there might be an angle. Very nice play by Ryo here.
Were you watching the Vici Gaming game earlier against
Secret?
Secret, right?
I saw
Called
most
Chrissy.
of it.
Takes in a Photic Shield's gonna live.
Well, you called it. You would have killed him without the Abaddon there for sure.
Yeah. So Black could have gotten the kill mid with Sniper, but his build was he only went 1 in Shrapnel.
That's also what U9 is currently doing, though. He's 1, 1, and 2. We'll see if he does level it up.
Interesting.
further.
What do you think about that? We haven't really seen a whole lot of 1v1s in this case for Sniper.
Oh, that's a
Big
good
fissure.
fissure.
Right
This
click
is
should
easily
suffice.
first
He's
blood.
baiting him with just a bit. One more right click will do it, and Chrissy goes down. U9 taking the first blood. But what do you think about the Shrapnel build then? I mean, he's going 1-1-2 like you said. I mean, Black went 2 into Shrapnel after that, but
Was he playing against Shadow Fiend too?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay, so the thing about maxing out the Shrapnel is it's very, very useful right now, but the moment Shadow Fiend reaches level 5 and he can just raise the wave very quickly, he doesn't have to stand in the Shrapnel that long, and then it's not so useful. And then it's also about the implications of what happens later in the game, like 5 minutes after the laning stage, how beneficial is it to have 4 points in Shrapnel instead of being able to stand really far back with take aim. But for now, he's going to do a 2-1-2 build, so
I guess if
somewhat
you have
agrees
if
with
you have an Earthshaker blocking him off completely, it doesn't really matter what you
Yeah,
one level
guess
should
that's true.
suffice, I guess. Right now we're looking at him with a 14-8 score versus the 8-5 from Shadow Fiend. Of course, we talk about at length many a time that Shadow Fiend, not exactly a hero that, I'm not going to say he doesn't care about dying early, but he certainly can catch up. And the question is his team going to be stacking? What is Abaddon doing in the jungle right now? I'm guessing it's going to be stacking. As Zyre is frantically looking for the Abaddon at the top. Shout out to you, Zyari. You're good. He didn't actually stack, though, unfortunately. Ninja Boogie taking a Maledict and a right click.
If that was a level 2 Maledict, he might have almost killed him, actually.
It's a pretty good skill. What's changed with that skill that people are leveling it consistently? Because go back 6 months, that's not the case. Oh, top lane, we have to wait on that. Fissure's going to completely block off Ryo. He runs away, but the Ion Shell is going to be way too much damage. Another kill going the way of TongFu, and they're up to a good start. But going back to the Witch Doctor.
Yeah.
I don't think anything's been changed recently. I remember
No.
the cast range was changed at one point.
Yeah, there's nothing very recent. I think I'm also a little bit puzzled by that, to be honest with you, because a lot of the times there are games where I think the Voodoo Restoration would be
Is he
really
going
good.
for this?
Yeah, he's going really
Oh,
good.
he's
He has
got assassination.
Just a
Oh, it's not going to be
good
enough
shield.
because of the miscoil. What level is that? It's a level 1 only.
I got the shield off as well.
Oh, okay. Aphotic shield and mist coil.
Yep.
My goodness.
So that would have been a kill. So I'm not sure why teams aren't picking the Voodoo Restoration as much. It might be because a lot of the team fights are so much more about burst than sustained damage in a lot of the games, in which case Voodoo Restoration is not really that useful if
Right.
heroes die immediately. But if you survive the fights and you're looking to push, it's one of the best tools in the game for staying on top of the fight and being able to go into the base even when you maybe you've taken a 3-for-2 fight and your remaining heroes are low and then you don't get to push. With Voodoo Restoration you really can. So I don't know. Has it set up any kills in this game so far? No. And if it doesn't, he should have probably skilled Voodoo Restoration. So I'm looking for Kavu to see if he can find some sort of openings fairly soon, as at least Beastmaster's a good target.
Indeed. Impale's going to connect onto Quan in the jungle. Surge is not going to save him with one last right click from the Troll Warlord. He spills to the ground. So they've switched up lanes a bit. Juggernaut was level 3 only. Transitioned to top lane, and they've completely switched things up.
Yeah, they were not getting enough out of the bottom lane. I guess that's the reasoning. Darkseer did get a lot of levels top as well as the gank, so he's
Yeah.
level 7 and should very easily be able to stand down here. Getting killed like that is just flat out a mistake. Overcommits, gets caught out, and gives a kill to the Troll, which is very important because Troll was, I think, level 5 before that kill and just gets so much experience out of killing a level 7 hero. Lion Share is part of that as well, almost level 5 now. And Rave, without that kill, their laning stage is not looking too good, but that was a really big pickup.
And we talked about how we weren't sure how Abaddon fit in this lineup exactly, but he's saved Shadow Fiend twice now. That's 2 deaths that were 100% going the way of TongFu. Is that enough for the Shadow Fiend?
That's enough for now.
Or for the Abaddon, that is.
I don't see what else he could have done so far, honestly. It's just, by nature, it is a defensive support unless if you run it with aggressive heroes in the lane, which they didn't pick. So I think he's done his job. He's been at the right place at the right time, which at the end of the day, if he's saving the heroes that he needs to save, he's performing as well as he should. He's also found pretty good experience as in the mid lane. Again,
Oh,
Chrissy.
boy.
This time he's not going to
Assassination!
live.
Oh, miscoil at
he
the last
actually
moment
is.
again.
I
My
really
goodness,
thought they
Cast
had him.
has been on point with those casts of his spells. Eh? I got nothing. Zyari laughed. I appreciate that. He also circled
That's actually
the,
worse than nothing.
the triple Burn, Zyari. Get wrecked, son. Well, Shadow Fiend will live again. That's 3 deaths that Abaddon has saved for his team. Big
It's
place
been a
for
really
Cast
nice. I
overall.
wonder if that was the reasoning, though. It seems like a very. If that was what they planned for, it's pretty next level.
Jin Q. Doesn't have Omni Slash or anything of that sort. He takes an Impale as well. He puts up his healing ward. It's not going to be nearly enough. I believe that's only a level 1 healing ward, so not going to be that great with that little health. With that little time as well, syndereN.
Damn it. You are.
I don't know what's going on right now,
Oh
but it's
god,
okay.
this is like,
Haste Rune onto the
it's like a
ES.
bad sitcom.
It's like a pilot sitcom that's
Yeah.
always just awful. It gets canceled right away. It's all good. But the Abaddon has, I don't know. Maybe we were wrong. If he's going to do this consistently all game, I mean, if they knew that Shadow Fiend would have a garbage matchup mid, then I don't know. This has definitely been working out so far.
He's going to be able to farm quite a few stacks here. This is giving him level, I want to say level almost 9.
Let's see if
Never
you're
mind,
correct.
the 8 to 9 is really long. That level he's not going to claim, but he definitely gets level 8. He gets 8.5 almost here. So what's it going to be for
first?
Chrissy?
Mech right away or
He-
Blink right away?
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever. I can't remember the last time I've seen Blink that fast.
I think he might
Oh,
get the
Shadow Fiend.
Midas.
All right.
I'm not sure if this is a game where they'll need the mech early on. Sniper, by nature, kind of takes a while to really come online if you want to take the big fights. But of course, if they're playing against a Darkseer who will get a mech early, supposedly, then it's going to be fairly difficult for them to teamfight without it, even though there is
mid lane. We're going to have
a
a gank
yeah.
sheep by Ninja Boogie. Lots of damage by Chrissy. Even the ultimate from Troll popped, but no right clicks were really needed.
And Witch Doctor ports in.
And you're right, it was a Midas.
Way too late.
Great prediction.
Thank you.
Well done. He's also going to get a wand. He didn't say that, so get wrecked. Quan in the bottom lane. Darkseer surges up, vacuums up. Jo.
Okay.
He's getting scared. But he is a hybrid melee / range hero. Oh boy. Top lane. Beastmaster takes out Juggernaut.
Camera. Did you get it on camera?
We got the tail end of it, as Breaky CPK would say. Just got the tail end of that one. Shout out to Breaky.
Oh, great.
That's awesome.
Firing some shots here.
That's not firing shots. Ryo?
Shout out. Shot fire.
Running. Shout out. Cast now level 4. I don't know. I'm trying to... I wish they would maybe put some farm onto Abaddon going into the early stages of the mid-game.
This cast could
Ninja
bounce
Boogie.
once. No, it's going to bounce off.
Negatory.
I don't think they
Maledict does
might-
connect. And
wanna
a
go
Photic
for
shield
that.
is there. That will not dispel the Maledict because it's not dispellable. One
This
of
is
those
correct.
cool little spells.
As bottom
Fortitude
lane.
advantage right now for
John's
Rave.
going to run away from Jo. Maybe.
Radiant's middle tower
Is Jo really going to dive this? This is extremely... Whoa, okay.
This is extremely woe.
So, whoa.
He has a Vlad's right now, so he could probably go for Roche. Problem is he's Radiant. It's a little bit obvious since he's already shown the fact that he has that
Radiant's
Vlad's.
bottom tower is under
Mask of
attack.
Madness now on the Sniper. What are your thoughts on Mask of Madness in general on Sniper? It's kind of like the glass cannon build. You got to stay in the back. I mean, that's kind of the hero in general, I guess.
That's why it suits him so well.
They don't have... I guess Darkseer could be the front liner. He's off to an amazing start. Question is, what build does he go for? Does he pick up the mech for his team? Does he go...
He has it in 4.
Oh,
300.
he's going for
Yeah.
mech. Okay.
Together with Arcane Boots, which is... It's either... You generally either get Soul Ring or Arcanes, and the most common build is Soul Ring because you're usually pretty starved in the offlane and you just want some sort of influx of mana so you can keep pushing out the waves. But since he had such an easy time in the lane and has now 64 CS, never mind 63, he didn't get that. Close enough. He's looking good. This mech is coming out now. He has it in 5 gold. I think if you're TongFu, you're looking to try to fight at some towers now. When you see the Midas pick up on Shadow Fiend, I thought Rave would probably be able to get away with that, but the timing on TongFu is a little bit better than I would have expected. So if they realize this now with the Mask of Madness and Sniper 2, they actually have fairly good fighting potential. And catching the Sniper off guard is not going to be easy for Rave, even with the Blink Dagger on
Smoke
Beastmaster.
gank attempt onto Jo. We're seeing the Death Ward and the cast coming into effect. Fissure doesn't really block him in, but it doesn't matter. The last proc of that Death Ward is enough to take out
And
the
this
Troll
time
Warlord.
cast was too late. He came in with the TP right after Troll died.
That would have saved him too. That was
Yeah.
super close.
Would have
So he's
easily
what is
saved
he? He's 4 for 5, 80% win rate right now for cast. Not too shabby on an Abaddon that we didn't think made sense. He's gonna get chased.
He's going to die
All
now.
he has is boots. Doesn't have his borrowed time, unfortunately. Fissure.
Great
gonna block him a
casters
bit.
cursed by SUNSfan.
Sorry, what? What is that supposed to mean?
Radiant's bottom
That you just
tower
said he was
is
doing
under
well and then he died.
Oh, that curse?
Yeah.
Dire's
Even if he
top
dies, it's
tower
fine.
is
He's
under
the
attack.
he's the 5 right now.
Now he's not 4 for 5. Now he's 4 for 6.
Just get out of here. You're the worst.
Okay.
I just cast with Blitz. I think he's gonna take over for you. He appreciated my jokes and my amazing insight.
I did at
Radiant's
first
bottom
too, then you
tower
get used to
is
it.
under attack.
Yeah, that's true. Ryo. Beastmaster has a bottle. Very interesting. I can't remember the last time I've seen a Beastmaster with a bottle, actually.
Dire's top tower is under
That's
attack.
true. It's not that common unless you play mid, and well, Ryo was certainly not mid in this game. Still, he has the farm he needs. It's a 13-minute blink if that's what he wants to buy, which I'm assuming. He could also buy the mech for the team. Beastmaster not the worst of mech carriers, of course.
Dire's top tower
Did get
has fallen.
quite a bit worse when the mana cost was increased, but I still think Beastmaster is the kind of hero who can get away with it. So he's going to buy a blink, I think, yeah. So
Radiant's
Do you think that's
bottom
who's gonna
tower
pick it up?
is under
Shadow Fiend
attack.
could still go for it.
they might not even get one.
I guess that's true. Jinkyu with that Mask of Madness of his. So it's going to be double Mask of Madness for TongFu. They're going to go for the greedy right-click build.
Oh, the pinks are coming in for Rave.
Ward is out.
They
It's
want to
only
fight
level
this. I don't know if they're going to be on time, though. Rosh is on half.
Yeah, he's not falling too quickly. And Rave's going to amalgamate towards this
would be
bottom rune very
so
close. Chrissy.
much better for Rave if Abaddon was level 6.
Aphotic shield
So
is
he would
there.
lead the charge.
Yeah, this Roshan's not going to get taken out in time, I don't think. Chrissy popping his ult just to lower the damage. This is really smart. LPC on the run. Death Ward being applied. Doing a decent amount of damage to Chrissy. I don't think they can finish Rosh quite yet. The wall is in decent position as well, however.
Man, this
and
is
Jared's gonna run it
perfectly
with
timed.
the Whirling Death. Jinkyu doing a lot of damage. Oh my god, the Echo Slam is actually going to take out the poor Leon, as well as the Troll Warlord in the end. And Ryo, he doesn't have a roar or anything. He's just going to go down the right clicks as well as the Maledict. And
Okay,
TongFu, somehow Juggernaut lives and they get the Rosh.
So there's a couple of things about that fight that we should mention. Sniper bought back after he got killed off by Lion in the side of the fight, so Finger of Death was down and was already used. In addition to that, like you said, cool Requiem. It doesn't really deal much damage, but it did slow down the Rosh attempt, and of course,
Middle tower
the real problem there was that Rave didn't seem to get the initiation angle they were looking for. The wall blocked them off for a very long time. They didn't take the time to run around it, so effectively some of their heroes were just standing by and not really being useful. And the final thing, this is like a little extra weird thing about that fight. Did you see when Juggernaut was doing Rosh at the end and the Whirling Axis hit him? Or not the Whirling Axis, the Beastmaster's Wild Axis hit him? Rosh slammed. So I think those axes count as units.
Oh, okay. Chrissy gets destroyed
That was a
despite
little
living
special.
through that earlier engagement. Ninja Boogie might not get out of this in time as well. The Aphotic Shield is there. It's going to save him. He's just standing in the shrapnel, though, and down he goes. That is 2 for nothing. And just like that, TongFu showing their strength in numbers.
And as I mentioned before for that Rosh fight, it was so important for TongFu that Abaddon was not level 6. Else that's where
Yeah, that's true.
that's where the classic PPD play is. Aphotic Shield yourself, run in, soak up some damage, start the fight, and then turn around. But no one could really lead the charge. The Aphotic Shielded the Shadow Fiend, and he didn't really want to go in first. So he did the distant Requiem, and then he didn't really do much more in that fight. And TongFu just take advantage of their range. And as they get Shadow Fiend again, they'll almost be claiming this tier 2. They're just going to have U9 stand there and hitting it. Very easy.
Well, the tier 2 is at half HP. JL, meantime, is bottom lane. And the beauty of Sniper. Mask of Madness popped. He's out of range of the tower. And the problem with Shadow Fiend being up right now is half his souls are gone, so his effectiveness as far as damage is concerned is limited. As Blink Dagger now on the Troll Warlord, Chrissy, the Shadow Fiend picks up the Yules, so he'll be able to get some nice solo initiations. Who could he take out with an ult right now? The Earthshaker perhaps, Witch Doctor for sure. Darkseer, I'm not so sure about that one. Sniper, definitely.
I think he could one-shot everyone.
Every
apart from-
single one?
Apart from Juggernaut, who will probably spin on time.
I don't know, Darkseer, how much health does Darkseer have right now?
1100.
I think he would live, honestly.
It's a level 2 Requiem, right?
Yeah.
How much is that? How many lines is it the ultimate has? Is it 30... Wait.
It's half of 36, right? Isn't it 18?
Does it have 18 lines?
It's 2 per soul, so 18, I believe.
Okay, so 18 lines times 120. That's about 2,000 damage. Then there's...
With magic resistance.
Magic resistance, that's
and
1,500. So if he... I don't know if you can hit it perfectly with Yules. I don't think you can. But maybe you can get around that. It would be close.
Okay. Fair enough.
So he definitely can. Oh, here comes Beastmaster.
Uh-oh, initiation. Jinkyu gets off his Blade Fury. And doesn't look like this fight's going to go any further. Ninja Boogie on the run. Will take a shrapnel for his trouble. Mask of Madness activated for U9. Assassination is here as well. Is that going to be enough? With the fissure it is. 10-5 advantage for TongFu.
This sniper is owning Rave. They have no way of initiating on him. That's the biggest flaw in their draft, is that they have a Beastmaster with Blink Roar.
Yeah.
But even when he lands that, where's the follow-up? It's going to take way too long for the other heroes to get in, and if they try, there's just going to be a fissure blocking them off. So Sniper essentially has free reign right
Does
now.
Shadow Fiend need a BKB in this instance then?
I think so. Even that is still going to be tough. Even when he's in BKB, Sniper still hits him. There's Omnislash, there's Death Ward.
Well, he could also go Blink on Troll. We've seen that quite a few times this
He
tournament.
has it, and I think it's the right choice.
Oh, okay.
That is what they need. So they have some sort of way of getting in on Sniper. I still think it's going to be difficult, but it's at least it's some sort of counter.
Top lane, tier 1. Looks like he'll be given up for free. TongFu looking pretty good overall. Yasha now in Juggernaut, as well as that Mask of Madness as we talked about. Is this going to be your favorite SNY? I think maybe. syndereN. Is Manta...
Such a great item.
Is
Good for all situations.
does Manta take off anything in this game?
Whirling Axes, I think.
Yeah, the blind from whirling axes.
That is only applied once, by the way. So if you get hit by Whirling Axes and then you Manta, you could think that it gets reapplied because the axis is still whirling,
Right.
like the visual, but it only hits once.
Yep.
When you take the damage from them initially, you take the blind. So it can be removed. That's pretty good.
You think that's his choice? U9, by the way, picks up a Yasha as well.
I don't think so, because
just-
everyone just loves Sanjin Yasha, right?
Yeah, that's true. They actually have the exact same inventory, basically, the the Jug and the Sniper. Building very similarly.
Just
And
needs
we're
a
going to have a
Quan Blade
smoke
and
here by
Sniper.
Kabu and Quan. Just to put a ward down by the Ancients. And the Aegis has been reclaimed, and Roche will be up in 4 minutes.
I still
Yeah,
think
that's gonna
TongFu
block
are
the
just going to siege mid. There's once again, it's going to be very difficult for Rave to initiate on them without a smoke. They kind of need to just get in on top of Sniper and kill him off very fast, or he's going to take them down over time. And the wall they can run out is just Darkseer can go in front. Even if he gets roared, as long as he turns around, they have a Force Staff on Darkseer now too. Shaker has a blink. It's a very, from a strategic standpoint, it's very difficult for Rave to get into fights. So maybe the right approach for them right now is to not fight and try to find farm. And then off the back of that, maybe you can fight into the TongFu lineup, but who scales better? Troll Shadow Fiend or Sniper Juggernaut? When the Sniper Juggernaut team is already ahead is the question.
Yeah. Well, I would bet on the Sniper Juggernaut personally, but I've been wrong on all my
Especially-
bets, so...
Especially because one thing we haven't talked about at all is how good the Wall of Replica is in mid-late game against this team. I generally say Wall of Replica is overrated for how strong the illusions are, apart from against agility carries. Those illusions are really strong because the outgoing damage from illusions is percentage-based off the main stat of the target. And they have 2 ranged carries with agility.
But that's a common thing,
Rave.
too, so why isn't Darkseer picked up more in the current meta?
It's...
I mean, he's a very survivable
Oh, wait a
offlane.
second, Ryo.
He's
It's
not
gonna-
blocked off. There's a little crevice there.
Okay, that's
He's
the
gonna get out
worst
Death
force
Ward.
thing I've seen from
Echo
Kian.
Sam completely misses. This is going to give away the fact that they have a ward there. Ryo's going to attempt to TP out, but the enchant totem is enough to keep him in place. And Jing Q takes credit for that kill. Meanwhile, tier 2 tower trying to be traded. Fortifications pop by TongFu.
Yeah.
Sniper's
U9
here.
can defend this on his own.
What a beast.
Beastmaster's dead, so he can just walk in and start dropping
Oh,
some
we might have
shrapnels. Yep.
initiation. Gonna have a TP
Oh,
out.
Ninja
Ninja
Bo- oh, wow, he's gonna
Boogie!
regret
Cask.
spinning.
Oh, that was so close.
Really
But away he
unfortunate
goes.
for Sin Q that he pops the Blade Fury there. Of course, expecting that he's going to get hexed if he doesn't. But Lion was TPing out, so he could have gotten on the slash off there.
Looks like Sniper picks up a Maelstrom.
Yep.
That's going to differentiate himself from Sniper, or from Juggernaut a bit. From himself, yeah, that would be great. BKB picked up by the Shadow Friend. That's a 10-seconder, in case you're wondering.
Damn.
That's a real good one, I tell you.
You're really trying to make that a thing.
What if you can buy it with 5 seconds instead, just cheaper? Would they do it? Like half the price for 5 seconds, and it just never goes down. Would you buy that, syndereN?
That's actually an interesting concept. I think on some heroes I would.
Oh, really? Okay.
Because it's going to happen ultimately anyway, and some heroes just need that initial burst, right?
Yeah.
You pick it up for just the 5 seconds, and sure, the rest of the Magic community is great, but still 2,000 gold, you would say. That would be a pretty good discount.
Yeah.
Second-hand BKB store.
Middle tower
No
is under
problem.
attack.
Need to have that.
Blink Dagger on Lion now, so
That's
they're
big.
going to have more Blink initiation possibilities,
And he's 11.
and that's an easy way to get to Sniper, and of course he has a ton of burst damage, and with Mask of Madness activated, just it's like having an Aghanim's upgrade with just damage increase for
He
that
could-
Lion.
He can almost one-shot Sniper with Finger when he has Mask of Madness on.
Oh, this tower's going to go down one way or another. Is it going to get denied is the question. Doesn't even try for it. Shadow Fiend takes it,
Dire's middle tower
and away
has
Kabu
fallen.
goes. He has a point booster, working towards that Aghanim
Radiant's
Scepter
top
very
tower
slowly.
is under
Juggernaut
attack.
took a different route, by the way.
Oh yeah, Shadow Blade on Jin Q.
This is an interesting pickup because the first, we always talk about the surprise factor of
You're
having
going to have to
Night
hold
Enemy
those
team.
horses, syndereN, because LPC is getting completely dominated in this top lane. The
He
sheep,
has
the right
been
clicks.
surprised.
Someday that will be coming to a shirt near you. All right, continue with your thought process, because I was very riveted by your...
Okay, so we talk about how powerful it is when you have, for example, a Blink Dagger and Shaker that the enemy team doesn't know about. I was going to say the same thing about the Shadow Blade, but now he just farmed bottom lane. I think he got pinged out, so they know. Because else that's... Part of the value of both Shadow Blade and Blink is the first fight you get with it. Because imagine you get 3 or 4 kills as a result of getting the Shadow Blade and the enemy team not having detection.
Right.
it's almost paid for itself already then. Like, it's a huge swing of gold if you destroy them in a team fight. Maybe you even get an objective. And then in theory, you could sell the Shadow Blade after and be like, wow, that was a pretty good investment.
Well,
But of
not to
course you
mention,
keep
as far as observer wards are concerned, Rave only has 1 on the map, and that's partially because TongFu has the Gem of True Sight.
Dyer's top
And that
towers
in conjunction
are
with
fortified.
the Shadow Blade picked up at the same time as Chrissy's going to dodge the Assassinate with the Yules. Going to keep him in place. Going to take a cask for his troubles, along with the
okay.
ultimate
It's
Death
because-
Ward.
oh,
Jin Q
wow.
comes in and dies to the finger of death. Chrissy on the run. Echo Slam does literally nothing. And it looks as if Chrissy will get away with his life, and Jin Q may not be so good. Takes an Impale, all his mana burned, or most of it at least. He's going to get slowed. Was that a MAME? Is that an SNY on Troll? Did we actually see a MAME
it's
come into effect? Damn it, syndereN. That would have been good.
Great slow on the
It looked
Yasha.
like he was pretty. It must have been the range whirling axes then.
Yeah, it could be. Okay, so
Did
when
they drop the gem?
So
by
when
the
I
way?
talked about no, Doxa hasn't. So when I talked about how amazing the Shadow Blade can be for the first surprise factor, it's not so good when you think you have the surprise factor and the enemy team has a sentry down. And
Yeah.
ultimately, the backstab attempt from Juggernaut, they got caught out really hard. They lost
So
three
he was
heroes.
attempting it.
They
So he
lose
got a
Roche.
little bit greedy with the extra 175 damage instead of going the Omni Slash right away.
Maybe.
guess
I'm not
what
sure if he could have got it off even, but that was still... That was a risky play. And it ends up backfiring really hard. There's your Sanjin Yasha.
If only he
For
had
JR.
that, he would have gotten that Dark Seer.
Yeah, maybe. But this is a big swing for Rave. I think at this point they're taking the gold lead. Yeah, they are. And experience too. Pretty big fight. That was like 7,500 fight,
Yeah, that was
including
pretty
ages.
good. Well, now he knows they have sentries, but... And actually, Rave has been putting up some wards. They have... Okay, those are actually sentries, you're right. So the sentry in the top area and towards the Ancients in the bottom. Only 1 observer ward right now, and that's going to be troubling because there is a gem like we've talked about on TongFu, and they could counter ward pretty easily overall. But they do have the Hawk on Rave, which I'm assuming we're going to see a Boots of Travel on somebody at some point this game for
Dyer's
Rave to try to
bottom
take
tower
advantage
is
of
under attack.
the Hawk in general.
They could really use that with, for example, the Lion. But I think it's kind of too... It's too much luxury right now for him to get Boots of Travel. I think he's looking for another utility item.
Dyer's
Force
bottom
Staff is
tower
really good
has
against
fallen.
any Shaker lineup. Or Ghost Scepter against Juggernaut.
Rave wants to take this to the base.
Wow, this
Dyer's
is
bottom tower is
pretty much not going to happen.
All right.
And it isn't.
And great call, syndereN, I'll tell you what. Well, Chrissy has, last I checked, 4k gold on that Shadow Friend. What do you think he goes for here? A little bit of tankability with like a Scotty, maybe a Manta for a little bit of both, a little bit of DPS and survivability as well.
I think he gets a Butterfly
Butterfly against the Jug and
Sniper.
Sniper.
It's not that good against Sniper because the math is different since Headshot can't miss.
Uh-oh. Jo takes a fissure, takes the right clicks. My God, Jin-Q does a lot of damage. Cass is not there in
Of
time.
course.
If Photic Shield is popped, he's going to get healed up.
He is.
They're going to apply more pressure to Jo.
Oh, and
He takes
Cass
another
tried
cast.
to help.
Assassination not quite enough to kill him, but the Echo Slam is there to do just that. Along with Ninja Boogie, Cast on the run will fall to the last proc again to the Death Ward. That Death Ward has been MVP for TongFu so far. 3 dead in the blink of an eye.
They're
And
going
expect the push to
buybacks.
follow.
They have to buy back. There's
Yeah,
no
there's
way they
buyback
should
on all
sacrifice
3
Barracks.
heroes.
They only buy back the Troll, hoping that they can get away with.
They're not scared yet.
They're not intimidated.
Omni Slash is still up. Echo Slam is down. Wall as well.
They could kill the Shadow Fiend right now if they Fissure Omni Slash, probably. If they layer it properly so he can't Yules, they might be able to take him down. But
That'll be
wow, they got
close.
away with that 1 buyback. That's pretty well played by Rave. Good defensive play. They lose 80% of their tower, though, pretty much. So
Yeah.
it wasn't for free, but they hold.
As far as the... Can you put that graph back up there? I couldn't read it in time. There we go. The XP,
That's the gold.
the gold, I mean, looking real good, real even right now. XP as well. This is a really even game in general.
Yes.
U9 on this why are you laughing?
Why not?
I heard you chuckle. Wow, Eagle Song of Shadow Fiend, so it's in all likelihood going to be a butterfly. We've been seeing a lot of Ethereal Blades, though, on Shadow Fiend. Is that a possibility? You'd figure he'd get the Ghost Scepter first if that was the case. But against Omni Slash, against the Sniper, it could be a pretty good pickup overall. What do you think? I mean, you could also take it apart later to make a butterfly as well. So
I don't think it's an easy choice here. The Ethereal Blade is really nice to keep both himself and the team safe when the Omnislash comes out, but of course you need to be really quick on your fingers to save an ally. When Omnislash comes out, the damage is dealt very quickly. And since E-Blade has a projectile instead of the old instant cast, it takes a little while for it to travel there too. So I would say, with that in mind, and the fact, well, they also have aggressive potential. They can E-Blade Finger, which one-shots the sniper, for example. So
That's a good, if they can get in range, absolutely, that would be, but both have blink daggers, so that's definitely a possibility.
yeah, but then again, they don't even need that, I guess. If they get in range in the first place, Lion can kind of just solo sniper. Now he can't.
I was going to say, do you think Sniper picks up a BKB, but I guess I
that's
don't
a
need
good
to ask. Do you think he does, Cinder?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
There we go.
Is it going to be a 10-seconder? What else was just picked up? Something else popped on the screen.
Sniper's pretty cheap, but I still think he has the money.
We don't want the grabs. Alright, so it looks like Juggernaut's almost done with a BKB of his own, actually. And Witch Doctor slowly but surely going towards that Ags.
Here's a smoke.
Even Darkseer, I think, is
close
going
to
for
Ags.
Ags.
Yeah, I
Interesting.
love that choice
So
for this game.
That's an increase of the damage the illusions
yeah,
do, right?
a massive increase.
Like from 85 to 145 or something like that?
It's currently
I'm
from
looking
80
at
to 120 on level 2. And then it's going to be 90 to 140. So I think most of the time this item gets picked up, it's a waste. In pub games and in some competitive games alike. It's when you look at how it scales, the only thing that scales is the damage, right? So there's no point in getting this apart from if the illusions are a big part of your damage and if they can really put some pressure. They can in this game with Shadow Fiend Control. Sure, the Ags also give stats, but then you need to compare it to, okay, you're putting 4,200 gold into your wall and a little bit of stats.
Right.
Instead of putting 4,200 gold into, say, auras for your team like Vlad's or Shiva's or a Hex. This is one of the very few times that I see the Axe picked up where I completely agree with it. But he still needs to land the combo. That's the difficult thing, and he doesn't have a blink, which is a usual pickup for Darkseer to allow him to pull his combo out, but went for the Force Staff, which
Radiant's top tower
I'm not sure if that was the better choice. It's better for his team if they get hexed, but for himself, the blink would have really been good.
Impale comes out, but I don't think a defense will be rallied here for Rave. They're going to give it the tier 2. We've talked about this before, just to refresh my memory. Since they changed the damage types, Echo Slam initial damage does not go through BKB anymore.
The
correct?
initial damage is also magical, I think,
Yeah,
instead of
that's what I-
universal as it used to be.
So something to keep in mind as these BKBs come up for Rave. Juggernaut did... not Juggernaut. Well, Juggernaut did finish his BKB, I guess. That is something to mention.
And we should
Yeah.
also keep in mind that even though the Echo Slime damage is magical, it does not go through Ghost Scepter at all. I do believe.
Are
Not
you
even
positive?
not even
I
the
think
echoes.
I thought that got changed as well. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out if Shadow Fiend pops it. Or
I
not.
think it doesn't damage at all through Ghost Scepter.
Oh wait, Shadow Fiend went for Butterfly. That's right. So it is a Butterfly. We'll be evading some attacks from Sniper and Juggernaut, but not Omni Slash. Of course, keep that in mind. Jo, top lane. Well, the Maledict will pop you down eventually. Doesn't have the BKB quite done yet. Still needs that recipe to finish that bad boy off. Ninja Boogie. Gonna take that siege creep on the dead body of his comrade in arms. Darkseer picks up the Ags officially, so we're gonna see this thing in full force. What level is his ult? Alright, it's level 2 right now. I don't think it's level 16. That's gonna be pretty dirty. As long as he can get... I mean, that's a big if, though. Get
Yeah.
the vacuum. If he even needs the vacuum, I guess, but...
I'd still
try to get
argue
those heroes
the
on the
absolute biggest part of getting a higher level on Wall of Replica is the cast range. It's huge how much it means. Level 1 is 500, then it's 900, and then it's 1300. So if he can't get the vacuum wall combo off, at the very least he can easily set a wall. And then that creates a zone that the enemy team really don't want to fight in. If they can put that down while BKBs are used for Rave, they might hesitate to go in. The BKBs expire and the wall's still up for 45 seconds. That's the next big thing, is the duration. And the final part of the upgrade is the damage, which I think is... When you look at it, it's another 20%. Oh, okay. That's
Ninja
that.
Boogie pops Ghost Scepter,
Ooh.
and as a result, Assassinate almost one-shots him.
That hurts.
Blink Dagger... Did Shadow Fiend not have Blink Dagger before or something?
He does. Oh, well, when?
Because it just said I thought he had that before. Am I crazy?
He didn't.
He didn't have it.
He had Jules, Midas, BKB, and
Well,
then
just in case you missed it, Shadow Fiend did pick up a Blink Dagger just now.
Good.
And
For you, so you didn't lie.
I think Rave just doesn't want to... They don't want to fight until this troll has the full BKB, and that's a pretty big deal overall. But TongFu, they have one outer tower to go until the high ground is the only choice. And this tier 2 will be the last thing standing between them and the base.
Yeah,
The
this
question is,
tower
does Rave
fine.
want to defend?
Radiant structures
Is the
are
answer.
fortified.
Well, it doesn't look like TongFu wants to take it anymore. They've changed their mind.
They're afraid of getting flanked, which is actually a really good read. That is exactly what's happening. They're
Yeah,
gonna go
smoke.
to check out Roche, who's gonna spawn in 10 seconds. So unfortunately for them, they're gonna run out. Oh, unfortunately for them, they're gonna get initiated. on.
Yeah, roar onto Quan, but there's no follow-up at all. It's going to end up being a waste. In fact, he might go down for his troubles. Vacuum is there, and the right clicks from Jin-Q, who popped the BKB.
All right, fortunately for them, they're gonna get engaged.
Was that 2 BKBs? What, did Juggernaut pop his too?
Yes. He's
Alright, so
currently
that's
running with it
2
on.
BKBs. I was looking. Just shut up. So 2 BKBs for a Beastmaster and the tier 2, I suppose.
And a Roche,
Bottom
if they play this
tower is
right.
under attack.
It's 30 seconds. They could also try high ground, but I think they take Roche. High ground can wait. Right,
Radiant's
TongFu?
bottom
Right?
tower has fallen.
We can do it.
Okay, some of them think it can wait.
Well,
Others
Chrissy's
don't.
going to take out
They
the
have
Rave here.
Okay, so the split push is going on from Rave now, which is the reason they are going to be pushing, because they want to force the Rave heroes back first.
Yeah.
Instead, if they go Roche, they risk taking building damage. So this is the right play in this situation.
There's the BKB. Chrissy gets off a big Requiem of Souls. Jin-Q at half HP gets roared right off the bat. A couple more right clicks will suffice. He's the first
Look
to
at
fall
the
off the
wall
line.
illusions.
Beastmaster buys back into the game. The illusions just chasing the Abaddon as
He's
the
not
aggression
controlling
continues.
them.
Echo Slam going to do some decent damage, but TongFu on the run, and Darkseer will finally go down along with the gem. The last remaining member surviving for TongFu is the Earthshaker. Oh, a nice Force Staff. Can he get out of this? I don't think that Whirling Death or Whirling Axe is connected.
It's going to be fine. Okay, so this is the one thing that Darkseer cannot allow to happen. It is very difficult in the heat of the moment, but he cannot just let the illusions be AFK. He got a wall illusion of Troll, and he got a wall illusion of Shadow Fiend. And they were AFK at the enemy base at the tower, hitting into an Abaddon with Ultion.
They were healing him.
If they move and attack the Shadow Fiend, he's dead in that fight, and that might change everything.
Double damage.
So
Double
has to
damage.
use the wall. It's his biggest tool. Like sometimes, let's say you're in a situation where you, ideally this shouldn't happen, right? Let's say you're in a situation where you can choose between surviving on your hero or keeping 2 enemy illusions alive.
Right.
Those illusions deal 3 times the damage he does. And his utility now, Iron Shell is fairly worthless. Surge can be useful, but I think the rest of his team are fine when it comes to mobility. Juggernaut moves fast, Sniper does as well.
Oh,
Master
here we
Madness.
have another initiation.
Okay,
Beautiful
Ryo.
fissure, and Ryo just spills his guts all over the floor.
He's going to spam ping.
Double damage still on
This
the
is where I
Juggernaut.
died. This is where my Hawk was. And maybe TongFu try to go high ground. They
U9 with the cheese now.
They have everything ready again.
Yeah.
Echo
They have
Slam,
7 lives if
45.
used correctly. We'll
rest
see if
is
they can
there.
do so.
Surprised they give the Aegis to Juggernaut, actually. I think I would have flipped it around so Sniper
Well,
had the Aegis.
the last fight, he didn't. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't even think he got an Omni Slash up. He got blown up big time. And with the roar, that's a definite possibility.
Yeah. This
I
is
believe that Requiem actually just
Rave need
Requiemed him.
Requiem.
Requiem.
They need a
Tier 3 down.
really good fight to prove.
Beastmaster dead for 20 seconds, and that is a huge initiation possibility for them. U9 just in the far back, dealing a lot of damage. Here comes Chrissy with the Yules into a Requiem, but it's not going to do almost anything, but the right clicks are doing more than anything. The cheese pop by U9, but it doesn't matter. He falls regardless. Omni Slash upon Chrissy, doing a ton of damage as well. Chrissy on the run. A couple more right clicks will suffice. He has Maledict on him as well. Looks like he will finally spill as in addition to Jin-Q. Is at half HP. Pop the BKB, though. Death Ward applied with the fissure. What a great combination. Into an Ion Shell from Quan himself. 2 buybacks for Rave, however. And with Juggernaut and Sniper dead, I think these racks survive. More initiation on a Cub. It's a little bit of cleanup crew here for Rave. Successful defense did cost quite a few buybacks.
Yeah, that was still a good hold for them. Sniper can't get caught out like that.
That was the Aegis and Cheese.
And see, this is why it would have been so much better for him to have the Aegis and the Cheese and Jugger, right? So when Sniper gets opened like this, he has to use the Cheese really early. His health pool right now is like 1200. So he gets half the efficiency out of the Cheese. And the problem is, when he uses it, he's not invulnerable. When he uses the Aegis, he is invulnerable. It gives them a 3-second window to buy some time, create some space, and maybe get him back up and fighting.
Yeah.
Like this, he quote-unquote dies twice. The Cheese was useless. He just died immediately, and the fight goes the other way. Rave, and how much did they get out of the Aegis on Juggernaut? He dove really far, died under the tier 4s, and died again. So both the Cheese and the Aegis did nothing.
The Cheese extended the life of Sniper for about 2 seconds.
Yeah,
And now
max.
this Rax is in a lot of trouble. With that battle trance from JL, this is going to be a mid-Rax complete. TongFu's going to be up soon in numbers. But Rave get exactly what they came for. Witch Doctor, by the way.
Oh,
That's
boy.
pretty huge.
He's 16 in a moment as well.
Indeed. If you can
Kabu
get that
might-
channeled for a while, that is sick.
He might end up being the big player for his team, which I think they need right now. Considering how good Sniper's early game was, we really haven't seen him dominate that much. And he's just, like you said, full glass cannon, and he doesn't...
Dire's top
He cannot
tower
position
has
himself
fallen.
well enough when he gets opened on like that. There needs to be immediate assistance. There needs to be a Force Staff. There needs to be a Fissure. But the Fissure is useless because there are 2 heroes in BKB. So what they need to do is they need either to keep both the Darkseer and the Shaker within reasonable range so they can double Force Staff him out like a rocket, or he needs to item build differently, or they need to approach the fights and differently entirely. So, for example, it's a lot easier for them, I would say, to siege bottom lane than mid, when in the mid lane the initiation angle for Rave is it's bigger, there's more possible initiation angles, and it's harder to get in a good position. In the bottom lane, there's only really 2 ways. They can initiate from the left, or they can initiate from the top. If they initiate all the way from the back, TongFu should see them coming. That's going to take way too long to wrap all the way around into their backs. And then Sniper's positioning is so much better. So I really disagree with TongFu's play call to push mid there. I think it was the hardest lane for them. Oh well, top would have also been difficult, but the bottom lane tower had low health, just like the mid one, and they took the hardest lane. Now they end up losing a lane of
I
barracks.
like this pickup by Juggernaut. It's a diffusal blade. You can unhex somebody. You can get rid of somebody's Ghost Scepter. Who has Ghost Scepter right now? Is it just the Lion?
Lion and Lion.
Lion and Lion. All right. Well, I mean, it's still a good pickup in general. It gives you a lot of agility. Gives you just the purge ability in general. Just slows.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a helpful item. What do you think about that in general, though?
It takes
for
a
this
slot
game?
is kind of the big deal. Because what does he sell next? So it took his last slot to get the diffusal, so now he needs to sell something else it doesn't make sense he picked it up. So that's the main thing, is that at this point in the game, I feel like it's worth it sometimes if...
It works to unblind somebody too, right?
I guess. Yeah, he should be able to purge that, but in the heat of the moment, that's just an unrealistic play.
Yeah.
The most likely thing for him to do is to purge aggressively. If he's in the right position, he can purge defensively to remove the hex, but also a very difficult play in most cases. So I want to say this is too late to pick it up, and it's not valuable enough. Unless if he finds Lion. Then you could argue, right? But else, it's just so situational for this. And more than anything, I think TongFu could really benefit from getting some auras. They don't have an AC, they don't have a Vlad's, and they're playing against heavy, heavy, heavy physical damage.
I
So
think the problem that they're running into is that they have 2 carries that are super squishy because
Yep.
of the builds that they've gone. Do you think, and I know it's not the norm at the moment, but if Juggernaut went for a little bit more of a not full utility, but like drums, Aghanims, and then started going DPS, that would have been a little bit better. Considering that Sniper, this is kind of the very normal. I mean, there's almost no other way to build Sniper these days.
I think his item build has been fine, but the Shadow Blade's been useless. And it was a chance he took, and it backfired. Now he has to deal with it. The stable item, if this is what he wanted,
Now he has to deal with it.
well, the stable pickup would
He
have been
shits the bed and now he has to deal with it. Okay.
the stable pickup would have been a blink.
Okay.
Ultimately, what he wanted to do with the Shadow Blade could have been done by a blink. The difference is the blink obviously doesn't give damage and attack speed, so if you get away with the Shadow Blade, it's great. And it can open up some doors that blink can't because you can cross through wards. But with TongFu having superior map control because of the gem the most of the time, he didn't really need that Shadow Blade to find the
Jinq
ganks.
wants to find
Speaking of which, he's actually
Ryan.
going to find one now because
Ghost
of it.
Scepter.
Assassin
Is he gonna?
stuff.
Yeah, there we go.
And
Maybe
hit.
an easy kill.
As I was saying, Shadow Blade, great pickup.
Well,
Gets-
to be fair, I think that's the first kill he's gotten.
Yeah.
It's probably not. Worth
And
it.
that's another that kill was also there with a blink. He could have blink spun on him too. That would have been fine.
Indeed. Chrissy, full Satanic. He just had a Helmet of the Dominator. I was wondering if he was going to finish that first, and he does. So big tank mode. Usually you see the Satanic way before, or I'm sorry, you usually see the Scotty way before the Satanic, but choosing to get that this time.
That's the right choice.
I mean, even during like an Omni Slash, if he's getting solo Omni Slash, he just clicks that bad boy and just right clicks anything and back to
Anything
full
that's
HP.
not an illusion. Which, do they even have any? The wall illusions. He cannot attack them. He needs to be careful with that.
Okay.
You don't lifesteal off
Yeah.
illusions.
All right, another push for TongFu. Can they do it this time?
Jugger?
Jinq.
Man, this is so... Going in like that, he has to expect
assume that
there's some sort of true side.
But there's a gem on Abaddon,
Gem on Abaddon.
so that'll do it.
They're not going in though.
They're
They're
gonna
just
get the Hawk.
if they keep controlling the map like this, the Roche should probably be theirs.
Haven't really mentioned Shrapnel, actually an extremely good tool to kill the Hawk if you know the
Yep.
general area that it's at.
I think it needs to...
How long is that to last? Like 2
3
seconds or so?
Seconds.
3?
The Hawk has 100 health and it
Dire's
deals
bottom
48.
tower
So
is
3
under
seconds.
attack.
Okay.
It's another thing we don't look at a lot. Easy ways to take out. I think the best is probably Clockwork Rocket Flare. I believe that takes it out in 1 hit, if I'm not mistaken. It should.
Level 2 and onward.
Yeah. Some counter warding here for Rave with that Hawk and Gem combination. I mean, the good thing about having Abaddon, and again, we're not talking about synergy, but just
whoa.
in general, having a support that's going to survive is actually pretty important overall. What's the woe about?
Roche respawned 5 seconds after the threshold. So
That's a quickie.
very fast Roche. TongFu are going to realize it, ping it out, and go for it. This is where the game ends if Rave wins the fight. Probably. Do TongFu have any buybacks? They don't on Witch Doctor. They do on Shaker. Sniper probably has one too.
There's absolutely
Okay,
no minus armor.
the game does not end, but it's a huge blow to TongFu if they get killed here because the pushing speed of Rave and where the waves are right now is probably going to allow them to take a Rax. So they
Both
will be
teams-
forced to buy back 3 heroes.
Both teams have really good fight potential inside the Roche pit as well. And nobody wants to
Rave's
get
gonna
stuck in
wrap
there.
around.
Well, we have a smoke
Wrap
here from
around's
Rave.
the name of the game
Secret
for Rave.
Shop.
TongFu waiting in the wings.
TongFu waiting in the wings. Well, the boar's going to try to scout things out. Not going to find anything yet.
Puppy talked about the sniper counter. It's
That's
anything
That's
with
not,
a BKB.
that's not quite the same. Come on.
No, it's not.
The one from CD was perfect. Kind of.
I have no idea what you're talking.
Huh?
I have no idea what
The
you're talking.
captain's draft, last the grand final.
Did we have a wraparound there?
Yeah, it was like
like that?
exactly. Man, your memory's worse than mine now. Quan on the Darkseer. They're just not finding each other. The Hawk. Where's the Hawk?
This is okay.
Oh, this could be disastrous if they go up the cliff. Oh,
Waiting in the okay.
it's not happening. Okay, you can't do it unless it's in the river. That's the rule. Well,
Dire's
Cast
middle
still has the
tower
gem,
is under
obviously, and
attack.
the counter warding.
Oh, here we
has been Out
go.
of control. Quan
Just
forced
kidding.
that backwards.
Oh, so much tension, and they all back off.
So much
okay,
stuff
never
they're gonna have
mind.
to
He's
do.
gonna
Quan
go in
gets
and die.
initiated on, gets sheeped along with the right clicks. He's gonna go down before the wall is even there. He buys back into the game. Actually, the wall's in the Roshan pit as Jayo's just gonna try to get the Aegis. Chrissy jumps in as well. Who's gonna take it? A big Echo Slam for LPC. Jayo gets on the cliff thanks to a force stuff, and Earthshaker takes the Aegis. I'm not sure who popped the cheese. Chrissy just dies. Who got the cheese in this fight?
I think Shadow Fiend still has it. He didn't use it.
Oh man, he was just stun locked the whole time.
Wow, that wall, Troll was hitting Roche, and Roche was killing the illusion. The moment the illusion died,
Yeah.
a new one spawns, because Troll is standing in the middle of the wall. And then the second one that spawns starts hitting Troll in the back, and it's just so hard.
So hard. Bottom lane push by TongFu. Shadow Fiend dead, even with the ult. He has buyback, and here he's going to come. Lots of damage onto Jin Q, and Jayo just blows him up. Juggernaut does have the ability to buy back, but no easy way to get back
Holy
into the fight.
shit,
And
that
my
Shadow Fiend
lord,
attack speed.
Chrissy, even with half your souls, my friend. Right-clicking so hard.
good 2P
Ryo,
from Kabu.
Kabu, he's going to get out.
So they lose 2, and they forced 1 big buyback from Shadow Fiend.
But that's both carries as well.
Yeah, they still have the Aegis intact on LPC, but Shadow Fiend now also has the cheese. Oh, wait, oh, he dropped it and picked it up again, just for fun? Okay.
Just wanted to
I
make
have
sure
to
that it
use-
was real. Well, he's actually passing it off to somebody, I think. The Abaddon of all heroes. Maybe he wants to pick something else up and just doesn't want to use that inventory slot. Or they're just going to play hot potato, but with hot cheese, I guess. So they would melt, so I don't know how that's going to work.
Gonna play...
Jayo's going to be able to pick it up. So, Chrissy, what is... Oh, he has a full inventory, that's why.
Why can't I remember what that's called?
What?
That French dish with, like, where you take things and you dip them in either cheese sauce or chocolate sauce.
Fondue?
Fondue. They're gonna play cheese fondue.
Okay, the fact that we had to talk about that for 10 seconds was 10 seconds too long, my friend.
Come on!
I am sorry. That's
It was still better than your average joke times 2.
that, but that's like times 0, so it doesn't... it's like 0 times 2. What does that
That's a
even
good
mean?
point. Zyora says wrecked and you just wrecked yourself. Ah,
By
God,
the way,
wait a minute.
I was gonna mention this, but Beastmaster getting an Agnum Scepter would be really good. The range gets insane. Like, what is the range right now?
He's had it for really long.
All right, so he just picked it up. MKB now on Sniper.
I remember seeing him with it at level 13. So, I mean, it was a good pickup 10 minutes ago. It's still good.
It's amazing. I mean, he doesn't even necessarily need to use the blink deck. He can go. He can blink into the trees and still get a good Beastmaster roar off. But with the MKB on Sniper, it's going to go right through that butterfly of Shadow Fiend. But of course, the Satanic is always something to fear. Not sure if we saw it in that fight, actually, him popping Satanic. Earthshaker has Plate Mail, in all likelihood, going for the Shivas, Lion. Is this going to be a Sheep eventually? Maybe a Yules? I guess another Yules couldn't hurt.
Yeah, Yule seems more likely. It's too expensive to build up.
Here's
for
the
Hex
question
now.
for you, Mr. syndereN. 6k on Troll. Do you drop
That's
the
not
cheese?
a question. Okay, that's a question.
Do you build something else on top of it? How valuable is this cheese to you? Not including this actual sell amount, which is 500, I believe.
I think what I would do now is I would sell the Yules on Shadow Fiend. Either sell the Yules or the Blink, and I think the Yules is least valuable now.
Okay, I was talking about Troll.
Yeah, but what I mean is then Troll
Okay.
gives him the cheese.
Ah, okay.
And then Troll uses the slot for a big item, because Shadow Fiend's inventory currently holds an item that has a value of 2,800 in the Yules that has really fallen off now, let's be honest.
He's going to do it just now.
He's going to drop it.
Uh-oh. Jin Q. Oh, he's going to find Jail with the big fissure. Omni Slash is not going to be enough to finish on because of the cheese. And here we go. BKB popped. Echo Slam as well. Chrissy's just going to right-click away Jin Q at half HP. U9 gets destroyed by the Finger of Death. He's going to be the first death of this engagement. Kabu on the run gets force-staffed out.
Yes, Aegis.
Ryo right-clicking away with Chrissy. And this is just disastrous for TongFu. Impale's going to completely miss, but LPC gets locked down regardless.
You know what? I'm sighing, but I'm just so disappointed to not see the illusions being used. Like,
He did it again.
he drops the wall. There's a Shadow Fiend illusion pretty much the entire fight hitting creeps. And the one time it wasn't, it was hitting the Troll in the back, and he lost like 15% health per attack. Then the Shadow Fiend illusion, I think it got killed, and a new one spawned because he went through the wall. He needs to use this wall better. This is not good enough, to be honest. TongFu in this late game situation should have a lineup that can really fight, because they turn Rave's carries against them. And it's not that Rave are dodging that wall. They're giving the illusions away freely every single time. They're just not getting controlled. Here comes the
we
roar.
have the roar onto Jin Q, and my lord, Chrissy hits hard.
He has buyback. Buys a little time. He's going to have to use
Well,
it.
yeah, Juggernaut has a buyback. Sniper does not, so on the deck for 20 seconds no matter what.
Oh, man.
What can Rave get out of this?
Are they getting out?
I guess they are.
They had 15 seconds. They could have taken those racks easily. 15 seconds on Sniper and Witch Doctor. They knew Echo was down. It was used in the fight. They knew Wall was down. It was used in the fight. And Juggernaut even used Omni Slash.
And Echo Slam.
That's pretty much a freebie for TongFu, not losing racks there.
It is a Yules for Lion. Literally nobody in the game has buyback, by the way. Scotty the pickup for Ryo, or for
Jo.
The Jo, yeah. The Jo. That is a tanky Troll now. That is nice to have. But I haven't been paying attention to the illusions, to be perfectly honest, so I'm glad you're paying attention to that. That is a pretty big deal, though.
He built Axe for it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's say you build Axe on Darkseer and you're not controlling the illusions. Why are you building Axe, right? There's like 5 or 10 items that would be a better choice. In addition to that, he still didn't buy the Blink, which I think is the reason he's not getting a better wall into Vacuum, is that he's never able to really get in position, because when he force staffs in aggressively, Beastmaster has time to roar him, and they've done that 2 or 3 times, and he gets taken out. So he can't play aggressively with a force staff. With a Blink, he can play aggressively. He can Blink, Vacuum 2 or 3 heroes, and get the wall off. If he can't, that's fine. He can Blink and use one of the spells and force staff out and reset. But at this point in time, Kian just isn't really... He's only died 3 times. It's not like he's been feeding or anything, but in terms of his net worth, I think he's providing the least to the team utility overall right now, and he has probably the most weight on his shoulders, because when I was talking about this late game with Juggernaut and Sniper versus Shadow Fiend Troll, winning that was highly dependent on this Darkseer really...
No, he is their frontliner at the end of the day, right? Him and, I guess, Earthshaker.
Lion's going to go in, gets the Impale on
Impale on
Jin Q. No
Jin Q,
buyback on him,
force
no
staff.
Hex though.
Wrong way, though. Chrissy takes the Omni Slash to the face. Ninja Boogie. He gets actually purged, and he's going to dodge the Assassinate completely. He's going to live as a result. Kabu on the run. There's no Death Ward with Aghanim Scepter. That is pretty large. U9 in the meantime getting locked down completely by JL. He's going to buy back immediately into the game. He's going to, in all likelihood, TP to the closest tower, which is in his base, so maybe not Ninja Boogie. Well, purge to death, and the gem will drop. So buybacks galore yet again, this time for Sniper. So it's a 2-for-1 overall. I'm surprised that Juggernaut lived through that, to be honest. He got force staffed into the trees, into the enemies, and they weren't able to take him out. And this is including TongFu without the Death Ward that we haven't really seen Aghanims come into play at all.
He didn't even get to cast his ultimate there. That's another thing. I think ultimately what TongFu need is for Shaker to play more aggressively. I think he has, because they're not really getting the team fight, the dream setup they want, right? Which is a vacuum on a couple of heroes into an Echo Slam into Deathward. They're not getting it. So if Shaker is the one to open instead, if he can blink fissure 2 heroes, maybe they can drop a Deathward with just that. Maybe they get a vacuum wall. Either way, the combos of their lineup are not working because Rave are always the ones initiating, and the counter initiation always only finds like one target, and it's not good enough for TongFu's lineup right now. They have to land something better than this, or they won't be able to take this game. Rave, they were looking pretty grim in this game earlier on. Now they're 15,000 gold and experience ahead, and the next Roshan is not too far away. It's about a minute away. And both teams can kill this off so quickly that it's
There's
all
the
about
blink.
who gets
We
like
were
one
just
pick off
looking
or
at
has snap
Darkseer.
control. Finally.
He just had 300 gold. And then now...
He sold his 4 staff.
Ah, you're right. Okay. That makes a little bit more sense. Thought he found like...
I think
gold at the end of the
he's
rainbow.
getting desperate at this point with landing a better vacuum wall. And I would agree with the fact that his vacuum walls have not been powerful enough because of the lack of a blink, and I think it was definitely the item he needed to get. At the same time, I've said a couple times now, these illusions need to be controlled. He keeps
Look
in
at
every fight he gets at least one of those ranged illusions.
Look
They
at
need to
ES. He has a buckler. Is that going to be a mech or a Crimson Guard? And are either of them effective this late in the game?
be.
I mean, he has a casual plate mail, so I figured it was going to be a Shiva's, but not to be...
Well, they can.
Not gonna
They have
happen,
the
I guess.
buckler. At least that's the armor buff.
Is
for
it
the
a
team.
casual
It's not-
buckler for now?
I think so, because else he wouldn't have bought the plate mail, I guess. But it is still a really weird build-up. He could have maybe been a little more ambitious. I once again think the best pickup for him, or anyone on the team, would have been a utility Blades. Get the armor, get the damage aura, get some lifesteal for the Juggernaut. And of course the Blades does not work on the wall illusions,
Rave
but
just
still.
pound into Roche. There
he
is
is
no
gone.
chance for TongFu to react to this. And Aegis on Lion. I believe Cheese as well. That's interesting. If he had an Aghanim Scepter, this would be amazing, actually. But there's just no slots available for the Shadow Fiend or Troll at this point of the game. Which... you got to think about maybe routes of travel soon on one of these heroes. But Chrissy has the Chrysalis, so we'll finish the Daedalus first. He has enough to finish it now, or close. Yeah, there we go. And 32. Wow.
Yeah, he already had it.
Holy jeez.
He has 500 CS, so this is when you're usually pretty much maxed out as a Shadow Fiend. He can replace the Blink for a Skadi, I would say, would be a pretty good choice.
That's true.
Or if he wants to take that out, I think Refresher Orb is actually really nice. Double BKB, double Satanic. Potential for 2 Requiems, but at this point I think you're happy if you just get one good one off, just for the
Yeah.
minus damage. Let's see. Raver looking to Siege. The Aegis, as you mentioned, is on Lion, so you can play pretty aggressively, but I don't think they need to. This is the way to do it. Keep Chrissy in the front lines with Aphotic Shield on.
It's a little bit scary with the
don't get
wall
him
this
blown up.
time in the base of TongFu. The wall might have a huge effect here. Here's the initiation, the roar onto U9, Omni Slash onto Ryo. He pops the cheese. The Omni Slash is continuing to go, and my god, Chrissy continued to do a lot of damage. Big Echo Slam on 3 heroes. Cass is going to heal up thanks to that. Borrow time. LPC is going to die for his troubles. Again, Chrissy just right-clicking away. Jin Q actually he dodges the Finger of Death, but it's not going to matter as TongFu just dies. Plain and simple. Beastmaster the only casualty. At the end of the day, the Troll and Shadow Fiend reign supreme in this game. My goodness. This is basically, I wouldn't call it a huge comeback, but they definitely came back in this game.
Yeah.
And how big of an impact do you think the 3 saves at the beginning of the game by Abaddon made? Honestly. I mean, we're talking about a hero that can come back
Would
pretty
you have
easily,
died
but
all 3 times?
I believe so.
Okay.
I'm pretty confident I'm going to say yes.
So we're working under the assumption that Abaddon is not doing anything, and they're just letting Shadow Fiend die. That would have been huge if they just let him die 3 times. But
well, let's just assume
they had a
the
huge
case.
impact on the game, because if your Shadow Fiend dies 3 times in lane, he falls far behind and Sniper can solo him. So definitely. But at the same time, in the grand scheme of things, they were still losing the game even with that, and then they came back. So maybe they would have been stomped. Who knows? It's still...
So Abaddon MVP, I think we can.
I think the
agree on
MVP of the
this?
game is Beastmaster, actually. He
played really well.
He found a lot of initiations. The Blink Dagger pickups on both Shadow Fiend and Troll to follow through gave them so many free kills on Sniper. It was, in all fairness, a pretty hard game for Sniper once those Blinks came up, and he couldn't keep his distance. At the same time, I feel like the team really didn't protect him that well. And then I mean, what do you guys think about Darkseer's performance? We haven't really seen it that way. I know I'm harping on it quite a bit, but I feel like in comparison to the rest of the team and how they were performing, that the Darkseer just seemed like he almost wasn't there in a lot of the fights.
Compared to what you would see in Darkseer's, like maybe a year and a half ago when that hero was there, it was a hero that did so much, and nothing about that happened in this game. To be fair to him, there were so many threats in the game that they were never clumped together. There was never the possibility of a perfect vacuum wall, and just things didn't work out for them. I think it's a little bit harsh to just put everything on the Darkseer.
Oh, that's also not what I'm doing.
Yeah,
it's not how.
that's like.
There were a
but
lot of
but
other
I
things,
do
but-
agree with you that if there was one hero that had the potential to reverse that game, even when TongFu was losing very hardly, that's what the Darkseer. If a properly placed wall, you get the troll, you get the Shadow Fiend, even one of those two, it's just like the illusion will immediately kill the supports, and that never happened, unfortunately.
It's really hard because like you get to that stage and you see the wall come down. You like if you BKB and don't get hit by the vacuum, at most it seemed like it was getting maybe one illusion or something out of most walls. So I don't know. The Darkseer pick just didn't really pan out. I feel like the Abaddon pick was really questionable from Rave. It felt like they were playing 4v5 for a lot of the game because Abaddon.
MVP, in other words.
It was a mocking MVP. Come on.
I know.
He did save Shadow Fiend 3 times though at the beginning of the game.
At the beginning, yeah. Okay, but I feel like late game, it's like I'm like, why do you have an Abaddon? Like the Aphotic Shield is for what? Like a Fissure stun, which is like you're only going to get rid of like a third of the stun duration, maybe if you're fast. So his most useful thing in the late game was when he finally found the Force Staff. Then Force Staff was more useful than all his spells combined.
Yeah.
Which was the funny thing. But Rave played well. They had a much better late game, and I feel.
I think the last fight was really well played by Rave. The cheese was on Beastmaster. It was past the Beastmaster without me even realizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He jumps in, Primal Roars, gets Omni Slash, and then Force Staffs back out and makes sure that he's the only one that gets Omni Slash, and then pops cheese, and it continues to go on him.
Yeah.
He dies. Everybody else lives. Nobody's even touched for Rave.
I still feel like the Troll should have took the Aegis. I don't know what Troll's doing holding a Vlad's over an Aegis.
Hey, that life region.
I mean,
Never know.
It's a really good
Abaddon.
item.
Yeah, I fully agree with what one of you guys said, where like the Airstriker buying a buckler when he could get a Vlad's. I think Vlad's is one of the best items to have at 60 minutes, but get on like your Abaddon or something. Get on a support.
Yeah, this tiebreaker, only the top team qualifies. So potentially, if Rave wins this game, if they win the other game, there should be no need to play the third game. Unfortunately,
They decided to change that.
nice. Fortunately, that is going to be the case. Until 5 minutes ago, TongFu was going to play against syndereN, and that would mean that match. I mean, there would necessarily be a third match.
Yes.
The way it is right now, Rave is gonna play against syndereN. If Rave wins, there's no third match. We can all go to sleep. But if Rave loses versus syndereN, that means that you get a lot more amazing Dota.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
What happens if they beat each other across? Time rating?
I don't
Nobody knows.
Infinite
know.
loop.
To be determined.
Infinite casting tonight.
I think that
All right, well, it's
that's
good to know
admin
they at
speak
least
for
thought
le-
about that possibility happening in a three-way tiebreaker. I mean,
Have a rap battle.
They're gonna pull
A
a
rap
house
battle.
coin. Flip a coin.
Don't you like my suggestion? Like, you get the 2 mids to block their spawns, and whoever blocks better wins. It's fast.
that's
it shows
really,
skill.
really good. I can't believe we haven't done that yet.
You
in
know
this
what's
case.
better?
What?
1v1, axe mid, you run each other, you just start right-clicking each
Oh
other.
yeah, just like but in the river with no creep.
Yeah, river, no creeps, axe, right-clicking
Captain's
another axe,
block
mirror
tournament.
matchup. That was the old Dota 1 days of
Yeah.
deciding like instead of doing a coin
The
flip,
coin
you do
flip.
axe versus axe.
I think we need to hire Brian.
But see, that's entirely by chance.
Nice.
has
Some
skill.
people will argue there's skill involved, Bruno. I had people who swore they were like 85% win rate in the axe versus axe mid matchup.
And probably some people had 15%.
I-
That's how probability works.
As a player who participated, I was like a sub 30% axe versus axe
See,
player.
that's
I was a low skill axe
you
player.
allowed the existence of the 70+%.
Yep.
You're not on camera.
It all evens out. We're gonna go into a break now. When we come back, we'll have the second tiebreaker of the day. That is going to be Rave versus syndereN. If Rave wins, Rave gets to qualify in 12th place. If they lose, they still have a chance because syndereN will have to play TongFu and see what happens. If everyone ties, we're all screwed.
Let's
See you
go
later.
Pinoy Dota.